Hello and welcome, everybody. We are in the semifinals for the IEM KATOWICE qualifiers, and I hope I've been saying that name right all day. I had someone actually try and coach me because I kept calling it KATOWICE, like a white guy, but I've been trying my hardest to say it correctly. Now, we do have JJAKJI sending out a very early SCV. We'll talk about that in a moment because this is a build GUMIHO used earlier. So, without further ado, spawning in the lower left corner of the map, playing for JJAKJI, that's going to be the blue Terran player GUMIHO.
In the upper right, as the red Terran, it is JJAKJI for my insanity.
Okay, so if you guys tuned into the last series, you saw GUMIHO do this, and I had actually referenced JJAKJI being the only other Terran player who actually does 888 Reapers, and we see him doing precisely that versus GUMIHO. Now, it's a bit weird because Koreans have a different level. Like from the players I've talked to, at least, maybe this is just a small select thing, but there's a lot more of predicting builds that come out of North American players and European players than necessarily Korean players. Like, you don't come against JJAKJI and say like, okay, he's going to do precisely this, because he's a very well-versed player who can do just about anything. Looks like GUMIHO's going to be getting quicker Reapers out himself. I don't know, it's going to be rough to deal with. If he puts down a second Rags quickly enough, then he'll probably win this through build order alone. But for JJAKJI, the only advantage he's going to have is getting in here early enough to pick off an SCV or two. Once it becomes one Reaper versus one Reaper, the SCVs will actually help you win that fight. But of course, JJAKJI's going to have a small lead in the fact that his second Reaper will be out anytime before GUMIHO even gets built. So there will be small windows of opportunity changing the favor of who's kind of ahead, quote unquote. But for now, we got that first Reaper coming out, Zombie Grub.
Yeah, and you know, GUMIHO is scouting across the map, so he's going to see, hey, you have a gas and no barracks, so that's going to be a proxy. Now, he doesn't know if it's an 8 or if it's an 11 proxy, but nonetheless, he's going to know to be prepared.
The worker count is so low in JJAKJI's base, like, it's very apparent that...
Yeah, that's a good point. So what does he do? He throws down his factory, and this is what I thought he was gonna do. Just go with the build, and he was probably gonna go up to Banshees because that's what's really popular. But this time he's gonna stop and build some Hellions to help out. He's gonna need to pull SCVs for the first few 2 minutes, I guess.
Oh, almost gets this round off. Marine is sadly gonna die to the SCV. What? The SCV gets the kill. Trying to deal with the Reaper. You guys gotta keep in mind, you can actually out-repair a Reaper's damage. It's not too significant when it's only one, and that's why we see these SCVs kind of giving each other some kisses and love. But, yeah, the Hellions is going to really need to try and hold this off. Almost gets the surround again, but the Reaper slips out just barely by the skin of its teeth. It escapes, but repairs up the SCVs here to make sure the damage is somewhat minimized. But that Hellion is so far away, and it feels it. I tell you, GUMIHO's feeling that Reaper damage right about now. Worker kill has been even, or worker count has been even up. Another Marine does pop out. Unfortunately, a lot of SCVs still have gone down. Total of 6 so far, and he's not done yet.
Yeah, he was a little late on that second Marine starting, actually, like worrying so, and
well, he had to get the
Oh, he didn't have no minerals? I guess that was the case.
He's been pulling to deal with this, and a Hellion actually doesn't deal with 3 Reapers too well, guys. It does well with low mounts, but
he needs to repair. He goes away instead of towards his mineral line. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, yeah, it's GG.
All right, so a bit of a cheesy opening, but a good way to secure a quick victory in game number 1 out of JJAKJI. He does. I think if I could be correct on this, it's like every time he does that, it's freaking Yansu too. No matter what race, it's always the 888 on Yansu.